Look closely at the numbers in your bank account. The system taught you to see them as the result of your sweat, your time, and your sacrifice. But what you are looking at is not real. They are just pixels on a screen, representations of a permission you haven't given yourself yet. The Matrix convinced you that money is difficult and scarce so that you would accept trading your life for crumbs. But what if the financial system is just a mini-game within the simulation? And what if there is a money glitch? A code error that allows you to unlock infinite resources just by changing your account's access level. Today, Wake will show you that poverty is not a destiny, it is a system error. We are going to hack the scarcity firewall and show you why your bank account is merely a reflection of your access level to the central server. You don't need to work harder. You need a bypass in the survival software. It's time to stop playing by the bank's rules and start editing your balance directly in the source code. For the architect, scarcity is a logical impossibility. Look at the nature of the original code. The universe does not save stars, the forest does not save oxygen, the ocean does not save drops. The source operates in infinite expansion. So, why is your avatar stuck in lack mode? The answer is the scarcity firewall. It was installed to keep billions of consciousnesses operating in low-power mode. When you are worried about the next bill, your internal processor collapses. The fear of lack consumes 90% of your bandwidth, preventing you from accessing the command console. The system wants you to fight over data crumbs because while you are chasing pixels, you forget that you are the owner of the game. But here is the secret that the system's elite uses: the money glitch. This processing error happens when you understand that the matrix is forced to mirror what you hold as an absolute truth. If your code says "I am in lack," the system renders lack. But if you hack your perception to understand that the credits are already available on the server, the simulation enters a conflict. It is forced to correct your physical balance to avoid a quantum redundancy error. Money is not the prize. It is merely the consequence of hardware that stopped believing in the lie of limitation. If you are tired of being just a slave miner and are ready to take on the role of programmer of your abundance, this is your signal. Before we open the console and insert the new script, I need you to validate your access. The Matrix tries to expel anyone who discovers this glitch through doubt. If you choose to stay and learn to edit your financial reality, subscribe to Wake now and turn on notifications. Consider this act your two-factor authentication to access the system's wealth files. The abundance download has begun. Access granted. Now that you are inside the console, the security filters are starting to drop. But to manipulate the balance, you must first understand what currency this game is truly played in. At the simulation's core, paper money is irrelevant. To understand the glitch, you must understand the Matrix's true currency of exchange. The system doesn't want your money, it wants your attention and your frequency. When you are poor, you emit a low-voltage signal called need. For the simulation server, need is an error code that says, "This object does not possess the resource." The system reads the data and reinforces the image of lack. It's an infinite feedback loop. The hack consists of sending a preemptive ownership command. In the source code, there is no future. Everything is now. If you can generate the frequency of someone who already possesses the credits, not out of desire but out of technical authority, the system identifies a discrepancy. Imagine the server sees that you have rich user status, but your physical account shows 0. To avoid a collapse in the simulation's logic, the Matrix must render the physical value as quickly as possible. This is what people call luck, or unexpected opportunity. In Wake, we call it database synchronization. The Matrix's biggest control trick is the script called time for money. The system programmed you to believe that your ability to generate resources is limited to the hours in your day. This is a processing trap. By accepting this rule, you place a glass ceiling on your abundance. If your time is finite, your money will be too. This is the simulation's light mode, designed to keep players on an eternal hamster wheel, mining pixels so the system can keep running. But look at the system's architects. They don't work 100 times harder than you, yet they earn 10,000 times more. Oh. They discovered the quantum multiplier. While the masses are trying to earn money through hardware, physical effort and sweat, the elite operates in the software. They don't chase money, they create the frequency value that the system is obligated to reward. In the Matrix's source code, 1 second of high perception is worth more than 40 years of manual labor. The Matrix rewards signal efficiency, not fatigue. Imagine you are standing before a massive concrete block that blocks your way to the next level of the game. You put all your weight against it, pushing with brute force, exhausting your muscles and your time to try and move it just a few inches. For the physics of the Matrix, your effort is irrelevant, you are just wasting energy against a static object. Now, imagine you stop pushing and realize that this block is not a fixed wall, but an automatic door that responds to a digital signature. You take the key from your pocket, the sensor recognizes you, and the block moves on its own without you having to touch it. The physical effort was zero, but the displacement was total. Most people are trying to push financial reality through fear and control. This creates resistance in the system. When you force it, the Matrix understands that you are in conflict mode, and withholds the data. The money glitch happens when you stop pushing and start tuning in. You stop being a labor of matter and start being a script editor. You don't work for money, you become the channel through which the system expresses value. To hack the frequency of abundance, you must install the leverage module. You must understand that wealth in the Matrix doesn't come from adding up work hours, but from knowing how to multiply your signal. Imagine planting a single seed. You worked once, but nature's code replicates it into thousands of fruits while you sleep. This is what we call multiplying data. It's what happens when you create content, a book, or an idea that works for you on an infinite scale. You stop being the laborer carrying the brick and become the architect who designed the mold. But the system goes further. You can use the power of the network, connecting your signal to those who are already at the top. It's like a small computer connecting to a super machine to run a heavy game. When you align yourself with those who already have high voltage, the system begins to see you with the same importance. However, the biggest secret of all is the shift in your identity. The Matrix trained you to be a seeker, someone who wakes up every day begging for an opportunity as if money were out there. The glitch happens when you turn the key and assume the status of possessor. It's the difference between the guest waiting at the door and the homeowner who already has the key. When you act, speak, and decide with the certainty of someone who already owns the game, the system glitches. The simulation cannot process an owner with an empty account. It short-circuits and is forced to move the pieces of the physical world so that your reality matches your new status. It's not luck, it's just the system updating the image to match the new code you've installed. When you change your internal identity to "I am the source," you stop being a terminal that asks for data and start being the server that distributes it. The system cannot process a server that is in the red. Automatically, the Matrix begins to redirect asset flows to your coordinates just to maintain the simulation's balance. That is why to those who already have, more is given. It is not injustice, it is programming logic. Have you noticed that no matter how much you earn, you always end the month with almost the same balance? This happens because you have a cash limiter installed in your subconscious. It's like a financial thermostat. If you earn more than your code allows, your hardware creates an error, an unexpected bill, a car breakdown, a sudden expense, just to bring you back to the frequency you consider safe. To apply the money glitch, you must raise your thermostat limit before you see the money. You need to feel comfortable with excess. The Matrix hates a vacuum. If you create an internal space of absolute abundance and refuse to fill it with the fear of lack, the system will enter a computational panic. It will have to fill that vacuum with physical reality. Your bank account is not what you earn, it is what you allow the system to render. To apply the money glitch today, you must perform what we call forced synchronization. The majority of people make the fatal mistake of looking at their current balance and saying, "I don't have it." By doing this, they are signing the matrix's error log. They are sending a confirmation command for the lack code. The architect does the opposite. He ignores the screen's output and focuses on the console. He knows that the screen only shows what the code processed yesterday. The present is the place where you insert the command for tomorrow. The technique is what I call the continuous flow protocol. Start treating every financial transaction, no matter how painful it seems, as a connectivity test. When you pay a bill or see money leaving, your biology reacts with contraction. That is the scarcity firewall trying to disconnect you. The hack is to maintain expansion. At the moment of payment, send the mental command, "Access confirmed." The reservoir is full. The flow is proof of my connection to the source. By doing this, you inform the system that you are not a passive receiver, but a high-voltage distribution channel. The system rewards channels that move energy, it blocks terminals that try to accumulate out of fear. Understand the logic. The matrix hates a vacuum. In the simulation, an empty space is an error that needs to be filled immediately to maintain the stability of the scene. If you spend or invest with the absolute conviction that the system is obligated to replace the data, you create a quantum vacuum of abundance. The server detects the lack of credits at your coordinates but reads your user status as rich. To avoid a collapse in the simulation's logic, the matrix enters an accelerated rendering cycle to fill that vacuum. It is here that million-dollar ideas, unexpected connections, and strokes of luck appear. It's not magic. It's the matrix trying to fix an inconsistency that you created. Abundance is not an achievement. It is a factory setting. The glitch is not about creating something from nothing. It is about removing the filters that prevent what is already yours from being displayed on the physical interface. If you maintain the frequency of possession, the matrix will have no choice but to update the pixels in your bank account. The system is a slave to your conviction. If you do not doubt the command, the server has no power to deny it. You are the root user of this reality. The vault is open. The only question is, how much light can you handle processing? The matrix wants you small, in debt, and afraid because a consciousness preoccupied with basic survival will never have the bandwidth to question the simulation structure. They turn numbers into chains, but today you discovered that those chains are made of paper and illusion. You were not born to be a slave miner, fighting for data crumbs in a universe designed for infinity. You are the heir to a system that knows no limits. Feel the truth vibrating in your hardware now. Abundance is your natural state. Lack is the virus. Do not accept anything less than total sovereignty over your material reality. Money is just the fuel for your great work, the lubricant for the gears of your freedom. Stop asking for permission to be prosperous. The administrator does not ask, he determines. Return to the center of your power. Reclaim access to the resources the system has hidden from you for so long. This data transmission is being recorded in your core. If you have decided that your time as a miner is over and your time as an architect has begun, seal this new script now. Let the system know that you have detected the glitch and that you no longer accept the scarcity error. To confirm your status upgrade and activate the credit flow at your terminal, leave your ultimate signal in the comments with the phrase, "I am the source." Write this so the matrix registers the definitive change in your profile. The vacuum of lack has been deleted. The rendering of your new financial era has begun now. Don't be fooled by the solidity of obstacles. From today on, every cent that passes through your hands is a confirmation code that the system obeys you. Scarcity was just a nightmare in your software. Now open your eyes. The bill is paid. The game is yours. Wake up. Act the flow. Own the simulation.